of the external discussion surrounding the Phillies leading up to earlier today's trade deadline amounted to nothing. The Phillies have stood pat. Everybody's still in a Phillies uniform, from Cliff Lee to Jimmy Rollins to Jonathan Papelbon and, of course, Michael Young, the most discussed up to the trade deadline. He is in the starting lineup tonight and playing first base for the Phillies as the Phils go for game number 2 against the San Francisco Giants. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy. There was so much discussion, as there usually is, leading up to today's trade deadline, and the Phillies have decided, at least for the time being, to keep their roster intact. Now, they have made some adjustments over the last couple of days. One of those adjustments was bringing up 23-year-old third baseman Cody Asche from Lehigh Valley. Now, Asche is in the starting lineup tonight. He'll make his first major league start at third base. A former fourth-round selection out of the University of Nebraska was having a solid season for the Iron Pigs. He's anxious to get things underway. And earlier, he had a chance to sit down with Murph to discuss his trek to the big leagues.
All right, Cody, welcome, first of all, to Philadelphia. And I know it's kind of been a whirlwind 36 hours for you. What was it like when you realized, when you got word yesterday that you were coming up to the big leagues?
Man, I was speechless. I didn't really see it coming, to be honest with you. I was expecting to show up at Coca-Cola Park in Lehigh and be the Iron Pigs third baseman that day. But, it's something you go over in your head, like what it might be like and what those phone calls might be like to call your dad, call your mom, call your grandparents, and just like hear the enjoyment in their voice. And you kind of imagine what it'd be like, but until you do it, man, it's kind of indescribable.
I know you didn't get a whole lot of sleep yesterday, and then you come to the ballpark and you get your first major league at bat. So when you walked out there, you get a nice ovation from the Philadelphia fans because they understand what was going on. What were your thoughts when you walked up to the plate yesterday?
I got word, I think it was at the 8th. If Landon's spot came up, I was going to be there. So when I got a couple swings, watching the inning progress, and I was ready. And then I step on the dirt on deck, and I'm like, wow. It's real now, this is going to happen. I'm going to hit. And so I'm on deck, and I'm just really trying to just get into my routine and do what I've been doing. But, it all kind of goes fast, and you kind of just try to slow it down. And I think it was good to get out there and get my feet wet, so to say, and get that first one under my belt.
Charlie Manuel said you're not here to watch, you're here to play. And I would imagine as a player that is good to hear. What do you think it's going to be like when you get your first major league start?
No. It's probably just going to be like every other start I have. There might be a little jitters that first inning, first couple outs. First ball hit to you, but I think it's going to be like any other game. You got to treat it like that at least, and that's what I'm going to try to do.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Again, welcome to Philadelphia, and good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Tom?
All right, Murph, thank you very much. And prior to the start of the ball game, Cody Asche, well, he continues to establish his fan club with friends and family who are getting a chance to see him here at Citizens Bank Park in his first major league start. Chad Godin will make the start for the San Francisco Giants, his 9th of the year. And Kyle Kendrick, a father for the second time, will be making his 22nd start for the Phillies. Well, last night the Phillies went yard for the first time in what seemed to be ages. Carlos Ruiz, his first homer of the season. Michael Young also went deep. See if the Phillies can continue that when we return with tonight's first pitch. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. You see Kyle Kendrick on the mound warming up, getting set to make the start tonight. Let's take a look at the Giants lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Gregor Blanco. Marco Scudero, the second baseman, bats second. Pablo Sandoval hits third, followed by Buster Posey and Hunter Pence. Brett Hill is the first baseman. He'll hit sixth. Roger Kieschnick in left field bats seventh. Brandon Crawford will hit eighth, and Chad Godin will bat ninth. And they'll face Kyle Kendrick. Kendrick making his 22nd start of the year. He's 9-7, an earned run average of just under 4. And he is a proud papa for the second time. His son Kyle was born yesterday.
And congratulations to KK, and coming off he had a really good start against St. Louis last week. It was another one of those games where the Phillies didn't score and he wound up losing it. His numbers against San Francisco are good, and he's doing a really good job against left-handed hitters lately. Well, not lately, but over a year now.
Last outing, he went 6 innings, allowed 5 hits and 3 runs. It wound up being a 3-1 loss to the St. Louis Cardinals. Phillies just weren't hitting in St. Louis, and the Cardinals, at least at that point, were hitting. 1 ball and 1 strike to Gregor Blanco. 0 for 2 last night. He came on to play center field as part of a late switch.
Yeah, the Cardinals were going crazy with those runners in scoring position numbers. Kyle throws him out. He fields his position so well anyway. And now all of a sudden they can't knock in anybody, and they have a 6-game losing streak. And you know what, Tom? That's baseball.
That's baseball. Charlie talked about that today. He said, you know, sometimes you face a team, as you see Cody Ashley making his major league debut. Sometimes you face a team and they make you look silly. They're hot, you're not, and that combination makes for a long series. And then on the flip side, you could be a last place team, face that first place team, and you could be the hot one. He said that's just the way baseball is. He laughed when we were talking about the fact the Cardinals haven't won since the Phillies series.
It's the truth. It's just you never figure it out. Most, you're going to win 60, 65 games every year. So even if you have a terrible year, so you just have to figure out where you're going to win them, and then if you hope they don't win them against your club.
Marco Scudero 3 for 7 lifetime against Kendrick. Ground ball foul 0-2.
These guys right now are really struggling offensively. They are having a tough time putting anything together. They're not pitching as well as they did in years past. Their bullpen's not as strong for Bruce Bochy, and they certainly don't catch the ball the way that they used to. As a result, they are a losing team.
Scudero hits it foul just beyond the Giants dugout, and it's no balls at 2 strikes. Scudero is 1 for 3 with a walk in last night's ball game. Infield back all the way around. Outside with a cutter, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Despite the fact the Giants have struggled this year, Scudero's having a decent season, hitting .314.
This is one of those guys they picked up last year. Was not a real big move.
And that one's line fair down the right field line. Delman Young's going to try to cut it off, but Scudero's on his way to second, and he'll get there standing with a 1-out double.
As far as you think about a huge move in baseball, but they made that move, and it is a tremendous impetus for them last year to go on and actually win a world championship. Well, it is time now for a Nissan Keys 2 tonight's game. A little bit overcast, still a nice night for a ball game, and well, you want to keep the Giants on the skids. You mentioned they're struggling. The Phillies got off the skids last night, and we've gone over this. The first major league start for Cody Ashley, nice young man, got a real good competitive streak. So just listening to him talk to Murph before the game, he also has a clue on how to succeed up here, and wish him a lot of luck. He's one of those guys you're going to root for.
Charlie Manuel said today that Cody Ashley's going to play third, obviously, but they're also going to give him a chance to play a little outfield. And his mom and dad have made their way to Philadelphia. The rest of his family, there's his dad Todd, and the rest of his family and friends are in that row the 4th row in the family section here at Citizens Bank Park.
He's from Missouri, but he went to the University of Nebraska. Said Whitey would have loved him. Left-handed hitter that went to Nebraska.
On the hands, that's going to bloop into right center field, a base hit. Scudero's coming home, and the Giants, like last night, take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first. Well, again, it's Sandoval, who last night had a sacrifice fly that gave the Giants the lead. And now his RBI single brings home Scudero.
It looked like he hit a good pitch, too. Maybe a cutter in on his hands. He just fought it off. Scudero gets a double down the line. He hit the ball where it was pitched. Yeah, they slide inside, and he didn't get it quite enough, far enough inside. And he's such a strong hitter, Sandoval. He can fight stuff off like that.
Well, that's his 52nd run batted in of the year. Talked about how the Giants had been struggling with runners in scoring position. They had only scored 18 runs in their last 9 ball games. Here's Buster Posey, who was ill yesterday, was in the original starting lineup, and then suddenly, according to the Giants, he came down with something and they took him out. He's 0 for his last 18 and 1 for his last 23.
You wouldn't think that would ever happen to him, but it happens to everybody.
And he breaks his bat, floats it to left, Ruff coming on, and he'll play it on 1 hop. So 3 straight hits for the Giants. The last 2 not really hit that hard, but hits nonetheless.
Yeah. Contact made by both those guys, and as you said, Tom broke his bat and just flared it out in the left field. Ruff did the right thing on that. He saw he couldn't get to it, so he made sure he kept it in front of him and kept the base runners where they are and kept the double play in order for a guy who does ground into double plays, Hunter Pence, because he hits a lot of hard ground balls in the infield.
You forget, because Pence played for the Phillies for the first half of last season and the second half of the season before, that he has such good numbers against the Phillies lifetime. You just saw them below his overall numbers. Takes a strike, or excuse me, takes a ball, excuse me, and it's 1-0.
Wow. The only one that didn't think that was a strike was the guy that counted.
Ground ball toward third. Fair ball, knocked down by Ashe. Flips over to first in time to get Pence. What a play by Cody Ashe. What an arm.
Wow. That was amazing. Look at the family pretty happy about that. Well, we know he can do that. Fans are going to give him a nice ovation for that. That ball is smoked down the line, and it's headed for the corner and runs at least one. And then he has the presence of mind to pop up and throw out a guy that can run too. Right there. Now watch how there's no hesitation. Slides. Oh, the ball came out of his glove, and he still reached down and picked it up and threw him out. Didn't notice that the first time.
Well, the release was very quick once he got it.
It's amazing.
Well, 2 outs, runners on second and third. Here's Brett Pill. That's right, clean it up a little bit.
And the way Pence can run too, and you know he's going to bust it down the line.
Pill had 3 hits in last night's ball game. Takes outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Memories of Ashe from spring training was he charged the ball really well. He threw well. He had a tendency once in a while for his throws to sail a little bit, but was a very aggressive player down there. And watch him in the drills in the morning with Ryan Sandberg. He was a guy that really got after it to practice and try to get better.
Back toward the middle, a base hit for Pill. That's in the center. 1 run scores. Here comes Posey. He's heading home. Mayberry's throw sails, and it's 3-0 San Francisco. It'll be a 2-run single by Brett Pill, and that ball had to slip out of John Mayberry's hands.
You hope so.
He has a much better arm than that, and that one, I mean, you want to talk about sailing. That one sailed every which way.
Yeah, he'll get an error on that probably. And that's a big clutch hit there for Brett Pill, who had a good night last night. Didn't hit that thing very hard, but found a hole. There it is right there. And as Tom says, slipped out of his hand. You certainly hope so, because there's air mail, and then there's express mail. That was amazing.
Well, it's a single, 2 RBIs. They're saying he went to second on the throw. And here's Roger Kieschnick making his major league debut. He and Pill combined for 28 home runs.
That's the right call. That's not an error because it is second on the throw. If he'd have gone to third, then you'd have to give an error.
Kieschnick and Pill combined, for 31 home runs down in AAA. Outside, 2-0. A rough start for Kyle Kendrick after he got the first out on a little dribbler.
Yeah, and then it looked like that play that Ashley made at third may have really bailed him out of trouble because that was going to be an extra base hit, and then he gives up the 2-out hit.
Change up, 2-1.
Well, you were talking about the Giants having all kinds of trouble running, or all kinds of trouble scoring with runners in scoring position. Well, tonight they've gotten after it.
Yeah, the Giants 7-17 in July had averaged just under, well, about 2.5 runs per game here in the month of July. They've got 3 already here in the first. Out in front again. It's 2-2.
Well, he's really out in front of changeup, so there's no reason not to throw him another one, it looks like. Unless they think that maybe 3 in a row is too many, but he's missed them by so much.
Off the end of the bat, that's going to bloop into center field, a base hit. Scoring from second is Pill. It's an RBI for Kieschnick, his first major league hit, and it's 4-0 Giants. Oh, Cody Ashley's family's here, and Roger Kieschnick's family is here.
Tim Flannery is going to toss that ball back in, as Tom said, his first major league hit, and it was a changeup. 3 straight changeups, 2 real good ones, and that one there that was teed up. Here's another look at it. You see the changeup grip, and then he gets it up in the air a little bit, or gets it up in the zone a little bit, and he was out front again. He would have fooled him on it probably if he'd have gotten that down and away, but it wasn't even close to being out of the zone.
It's kind of cool to put your first major league hit in your back pocket. Not so cool for Kyle Kendrick, who's allowed 4 first-inning runs.
And that poor play by Mayberry cost him a run right there, too, because he has no play at the plate and then overthrows everybody and allowed the runner to move into scoring position where he just scored. Little things like that are part of the Phillies' defensive woes this year.
Well, the number 8 hitter, Brandon Crawford, is up here in the first. It's never a good sign. And he bounces the first pitch foul. It's 0-1.
The guy they're facing tonight, Godin, it's hard to tell what's going to happen with him. He's a relief pitcher they turned into a starter and has done a good job for them, although he got hit around his last time out. But there he is right there, but he has to feel pretty good having a 4-run lead already.
Fastball for strike 2. Crawford 1 for 2 in last night's ball game. He struck out.
Giants have a 4-run lead. They're just starting rush hour in San Francisco.
Another foul ball. It remains a no balls and 2 strikes. 25 pitch innings so far for Kendrick. Well, so 7 first inning runs prior to tonight in 21 starts, and 4 with this first inning alone. So 11 overall.
Well, it's not like they've been hitting all kinds of bullets on him in this inning, but give them credit. They've been making contact and flaring them out into the outfield. Some ground ball. The hardest ball they hit in this inning was caught. That was a tremendous play that Ashe made.
That and Scudero's line drive.
Yeah, Scudero's line drive. Great. Good point. Yeah, that was also hit well. But for the most part, that's baseball.
Another foul ball. It remains 0-2.
And this long inning already has them thinking about the bullpen at some point tonight. Earlier than they want.
Yeah, fortunately, they did not have to burden the bullpen last night.
A lot of strikes in this inning because all the foul balls too.
There's Barry Zito, Jeff Francoeur. Barry started last night. The Phillies got a couple runs in the first inning, scored 4 overall. Runner goes, the pitch is hit foul. And Kieschnick will go back to first.
Some fans might not recognize the guy sitting next to them. That's Lincecum. With his look this year. He does look different that way.
Matt Cain is with his back to us.
Get him tomorrow night.
Zito had a 10-minute meeting with Bruce Bochy after last night's ball game. They're still undecided whether he'll make his next start because he has struggled so much. This should get Kendrick out of the inning. Ashe in the third base coach's box makes the catch. Side is retired, but it's a 30-pitch inning for Kyle. 4-run score for the Giants on 5 base hits. So middle of the first, it's the Giants 4 and the Phillies coming up. Now the task is a little more difficult, but they have plenty of time. Let's take a look at their lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Michael Young will bat second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Delman Young and Darren Rupp. Cody Ashe, the third baseman, bats sixth. John Mayberry, seventh. Carlos Ruiz does the catching. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth and pitching, of course, is Kendrick. And they'll face 30-year-old right-hander Chad Godin, who, as Wheels mentioned, is not usually a starting pitcher, but he's made 8 starts for the Giants with Ryan Vogelsong being on the disabled list, and he's done okay for them.
Yeah, he really has. He's done a nice job after Vogelsong went down. Last time out, he got hit around a little bit, but right-handed hitters only hitting 178 against him, and a preponderance of fastballs in the 88 to 93 mile per hour range. First career start against the Phillies. They have faced him out of the bullpen. He was with the Marlins last year, and he will pitch inside.
Well, he has played for 8 different teams, including the Giants. And the first pitch outside to Rollins, who was 1 for 5 last night. Rollins overall at .258 with 5 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Two and 0. Godin was a 34th round selection in the 2001 draft. He made his major league debut, where he's pitched his most games in the major leagues with the Oakland A's. Played 4 years for Oakland, but just about everybody else is either a 2-year or 1-year deal as his career's moved on.
Yeah, he was, as I said, originally drafted by the Rays, played for both Florida teams.
Two and 2 to Rollins. And Rollins lines one for a base hit toward right center field. Pence gets to it quickly, so Rollins will hold up at first. So a leadoff single. Maybe piece by piece the Phillies can get some runs back here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, threw some kind of a hanging breaking ball there, slider or curve, and it was up in the zone, and Jimmy hits it hard. Take a look. Maybe the slider looked like it was a little harder and didn't have a whole lot of tilt to it.
Michael Young, who was out on the field when 4 o'clock came calling. That was the end of the trade deadline. He was still in a Phillies uniform. He was really the one guy today that different folks on different television shows and different internet services talked about being dealt. He did say earlier today that a lot of the reports about him waiving a no trade clause or not waiving a no trade clause, a lot of those reports were incorrect. But he's still in a Phillies uniform.
Well, when you got 100 different guys throwing it against the wall, some of them are going to be correct and many of them will be incorrect.
Well, we'll hear from Ruben Amaro. Murph will talk with him in just a little bit. That'll be in our next inning. 0-2 to Michael Young. A couple RBIs last night. And a breaking ball missed low. Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Harvey Goldberg of Philadelphia. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, and Harvey will win $100.
Fastball, slider are the two pitches he's going to use the most. And then changeup and a curveball rarely.
And the line drive caught. They try to double up Rollins, and they do.
It's such bad base running there for a guy as experienced as Jimmy Rollins, and he knows it. Plays right in front of you, you're down by 4 runs, and he reads that as a base hit, I guess, off the bat. And you get doubled off on that. Nobody has to tell him. Here it is. It is a safety first on this play, and you're down by that much. As I said, nobody knows more than Jimmy Rollins what a big mistake that is.
Footwork for Brett Pill was pretty good as he took that throw at first base. He had to maneuver around a sliding Rollins. Chase Utley 2 for 4 in last night's game. Take strike 1. Those 2 hits that Chase picked up, the only 2 hits he's had at his last 16 at bats. In the air to right field. It's pretty deep. Pence going back toward the track, toward the wall. It is gone. A home run for Chase Utley. And the Phillies are on the board here in the bottom of the first inning. It's his 14th home run of the season.
Yeah, that looked like he got in on him a little bit, and you can hear the way Tom described it. That it really didn't look like he was going to go out of the ballpark when he hit it. It didn't even sound like it. But maybe the ball's carrying really well here tonight. Yeah, that's in. That may have been a slider and cut a little bit. Pulled his arms back. Chase Utley's really strong and hits it out there into the first row. Not much wind here. It just took off.
And it makes a winner out of Harvey Goldberg at our McDonald's home run jackpot. Harvey's just won $100. Thanks to Chase Utley. Oh, 1 to Delman Young. Delman had 2 hits last night. And he fouls the 0-1 back. It's 0-2. Swing and a miss. He threw a 92-mile-an-hour fastball right on by him. Side is retired. The Phillies do get a run. It's the first time this year Godin has given up a run in the first inning. Thanks to Chase Utley with his homer. We go to the second. It's a 3-run lead. Chad Godin leads it off for the Giants here in the top of the second. He takes a strike. Giants up 4-1. Godin is 0 for 16 this season. And it's 0-2.
And he is 1 for 56 lifetime. So he, when you look up and down their lineup, he's an out with 29 Ks.
And he grounds one to second base. Chase Utley gobbles it up. And there's one quick out here in the second. Busy day around the Phillies offices and also around Major League Baseball. And for more on that, here's Greg Murphy with Ruben Amaro.
Well, it was a busy day, Tom, and Ruben Amaro Jr. certainly was a busy man today. But in the end, Ruben, nothing happens. You surprised? I mean, it was a quiet day around Major League Baseball as well, but certainly quiet for you guys.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised about what was happening in the industry because, frankly, it's there aren't a lot of players out there to be had, and everybody's kind of coveting their own. But we did try to make some moves to improve our club, even for this year and for subsequent years. But we just really didn't feel like there was a deal to be made with some of the players that had been asked about that was going to do, that was going to reach our goals.
So the next step is what? Because you're on the record and your manager's on the record that obviously this team needs to improve. And so you continue to do what in order to make that happen?
Well, I think, giving guys like Cody Ashley opportunities to play, Darren Ruff opportunities to play. I get, at the very least, we get a younger group of guys in here, give them some experience, give them the opportunity to be in the big leagues and to get a feel for it and see how they fare. And I think that's an important element of what we're trying to do here. We are trying to do a little transitioning into some younger players, and obviously we need to get the health of our other players to get back on the field so that we can have the kind of talent level that we had hoped. But losing Ben Revere and Howard and others, hopefully we get Dominic back here within a week or so and get some of the talent level that we had hoped to have at the beginning of the year.
The trade deadline gets talked about because it is a deadline, but it doesn't mean that you can't continue to make moves. So could possibly some of the names that have been tossed around in the past couple of weeks, could we see them move, whether it be before the end of the season or during the offseason?
I think that there's a very good chance of that. And the reason why I say that, even more of a chance now, because I think you're going to see a little bit more movement as we get closer to even September. And the reason why I say that is that there's going to be some more clubs that are going to fall out of it. There's going to be a little bit clearer picture of what's going to happen, I think, as far as the contenders are concerned. And so that may free up opportunities to get guys through waivers and to make a move and to improve the club for the future. So those are some of the things that I think can happen.
Is it fair to say the reason nothing happened today was because you didn't believe you could get back value for the guys that you had?
That's exactly right. I mean, had we felt like there was an opportunity to improve our club with some of the moves that we were going to make, then we would have done it. I mean, it's no secret that guys like Michael Young, guys like Chooch, guys like Lee and Utley, those guys were coveted. At the same time, the return that we were going to get on those guys really wasn't going to be able to help us move this thing forward. Was it frustrating not being able to do anything to improve the club? No, I mean, I going into this trading season, so to speak, our expectations were that if we could do something to help our club, we could. But it was certainly a situation, and you saw it around the industry as we talked about earlier, that frankly there wasn't really going to be a lot of movement because a lot of players weren't available because of the way we covered our players, and some things can still happen. But at the same time, I still like the talent on our club. I'd like to improve it, and hopefully we can do that. All right. Before I let you go, Cody Ashley making his major league start made a heck of a play in the first inning down at third base. What can you tell fans about what they can expect out of this kid? He's going to give you effort. He's got ability. He's an athlete. He runs well. He's got a good swing. You're going to get effort out of it, as I said. And it was time for him to take this challenge. He was swinging the bat extraordinarily well. I guess the player of the month in our system, but swinging the bat well, really improved on defense. And it's time for him to take the next step and see how he handles being a big league third baseman. All right. Well, good luck to you for the remainder of these next 2 months and beyond that, Ruben. Thanks. Great. All right, guys, we'll send it back to you.
Murph, thank you very much. We appreciate Ruben joining us. That ball's hit toward Ashe and right on cue. He feeds Utley at second for one and around the horn. A 5-4-3 double play. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, nobody left. And Cody Ashe will get a chance to bat When we return, it'll be Ruff, Ashe, and John Mayberry. Officially, or make it official, I should say, where Brad will officially retire as a member of the Philadelphia Phillies organization. Pregame ceremony will take place prior to the first pitch, so you're going to want to be in your seats early. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets for tomorrow's ball game between the Phillies and the San Francisco Giants. Last of the second, Phillies trail it by 3. Darren Ruff, Cody Ashe, and John Mayberry. Against right-hander Chad Godin. Ruff 0 for 4 last night, but he did walk. He's reached base safely now, dating back to last year in 27 consecutive games. Outside, 1-0.
Ruben just talking to Murph about some guys getting a chance to play. Well, Ruff is one of them. Getting a big opportunity right now.
And he lines one to left field, going back on it, and making a leaping grab is Kieschnick. Oh, there's one out. He hit that ball hard.
Yeah, the guy was really playing deep, too. Started out where he was very, very deep in the outfield and in perfect position and just had to go back and put his glove up. It was a nice play. And that's a deep outfielder. Major league debut, doing okay, huh? See how deep he was? 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, reach up, big tall guy, makes a nice play.
A little bit of a snow cone.
Yeah. Well, he was smoked. He didn't have much time to go get that.
Well, now Cody Ashe. 43 extra base hits down at Lehigh Valley. He takes high. He popped out in his only at bat last night.
One thing we talked about him during spring training was really noticeable is how quick he was. And he had a real good base and quick hands. Be interested to see how he can do here at the major league level, because that is spring training. You are facing guys that are not really tuned up yet, and you're facing a lot of younger pitchers too down in spring training. But he was very impressive with his setup, I thought.
He was hitting .295 for Lehigh Valley with 15 home runs. Fastball for a strike, 2-1.
He's open a little bit too, not to the extent that Ruff does. But he's one of those hitters that likes to open up a little bit. Front foot.
He hits it foul, 2-2.
And he's more a toe tapper than a guy that raises their leg up in the air, which is probably better. The guys that lift the leg in the air, there's so much timing involved.
He mentioned his family having a chance to get here to Philadelphia to watch the debut yesterday, and then here making his first major league start. Outside, ball 3. Ashe wore number 5 for the Iron Pigs. He's wearing 25 here with the Phillies. Jim Thome's number.
Good at bat.
Yeah, that looked like a running fastball. Posey wanted it inside, and it was running toward the outside part of the plate. Ground ball towards second. To his right, a few steps, Scudero. And there's 2 outs. During the 2013 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs.
Watch him standing up there, and it's not exactly the same, but his body looks like Chase Utley. Just the way they both listed at 6'1", one at 180, one at 200.
Well, folks have compared their styles. It's tough to gauge that after just a couple of days. Chase is so intense.
Well, we mentioned that Utley really took to this kid in spring training. They were around each other a lot. So it is nice to watch a couple of young guys come up out of the system and give them a chance to play and see what happens.
Mayberry had a couple hits in last night's game. He also drove in a couple runs. He's behind 0-1. And he fights off the 0-1 and makes it no balls and 2 strikes.
Pirates are like a dog on the pant leg right now. The Cardinals come out and get 2. Pirates come right back and get 1 in the first. Cardinals are probably thinking, okay, here we go. They play great baseball.
Out towards center field. And it's playable for Blanco. Phillies go down in order here in the second. So 4 in a row retired by Godin since the home run by Utley. We've completed our first 2 here in Philadelphia. For all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, the question is, who are the 2 Phillies pitchers that have pitched no-hitters against the Giants? Answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. By the way, Wheels, did you see the new sliding fanatic that came across the screen there?
No, I missed that.
You didn't see that?
No, I was trying to think who the other one was of the no-hitters. One of them's real easy.
Back toward the middle, Utley charges, and Sandoval is, he's going to be safe. A throw pulled Michael Young off the bag, and that'll be the 13th error of the year for Chase Utley.
Something went wrong in that play with the timing of it, because he took too long to throw it for a guy that can't run. And we're watching, maybe we'll see it on the replay, whether he can get a grip on the ball or what. It looked like he even took an extra step. Here he comes and he gets it cleanly. So he just took that extra crow hop and then just threw it away. He had a grip on it right there. He reaches in, takes it, crow hop, throws it wide. Felt like you said he may have joggled it, but he didn't.
Oh, now Buster Posey, he singled his first time up. Posey takes a strike. Posey has played in 101 of the last 105 Giants games.
What do you think of that injury he had? That's just remarkable. What a player.
No balls and 2 strikes. Well, speaking of Posey, we take a look at our Mazda leaders. The catchers in the National League that have won the MVP award. Johnny Bench did it twice. Roy Campanella, who's had just an incredible career before the accident, won it 3 times.
Campy was some player. Johnny Bench, of course, twice. Roy Campanella from Philadelphia. He had that car accident, that terrible car accident in New York. Slid on the ice during the off season one year and wound up in a wheelchair. We used to see him in Los Angeles all the time. He was in the press box at Dodger Stadium, one of the nicest, friendliest, great guys to talk to. He was still had a great zest for life, even though he was dealt such a tough hand there. Just to see him around, he always had a smile. And he loved to talk to people from Philadelphia. He had great memories here. He and Whitey had a tremendous relationship.
In the dirt. Some dirt got into the eye of Carlos Ruiz. So now it's 2-2 after working ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Carlos held that for a moment.
Posey's such a good hitter. He's not a big swing and a miss guy. And even though he's been struggling, you think they'd run here. The only problem is if he swings and misses, it's a double play because of Sandoval at first base.
Runner does go, and the pitch is hit back toward the middle. Utley can't get it. Sandoval's on his way to third.
That's trusting Buster Posey right there not to strike out. And they get a first and third out of it with a slow runner.
Bill Posey now 2 for 2 after a career-long 0 for 18 stretch.
Yeah, you knew somebody was on borrowed time. That ball's up in the zone. Like a cutter, and he hits it right back through the middle, and that one was hit on the nose. Utley has no chance to get to that. And there's Sandoval running on the play and gets to third easily.
Hunter Pence was retired on that play by Cody Ashe in the first, so he's 0 for 1. Phillies will play the infield for 2. And Pence fouls it, and it's 0-1.
Never a guy to take a lot of pitches.
Hunter Pence has missed only 12 innings this entire year. He said it's always been a goal of his to try to play 162 games.
Oh.
And he's just been hit by a pitch to load up the bases.
Kendrick's just not sharp tonight.
Rich Doobie heading out to the mound.
Just had that new baby. Might not have gotten a lot of sleep.
Yeah, Stephanie gave birth to Kyle Jr. yesterday at 4:28 p.m. And there's mom, dad, and of course Kyle, and little sister Sophia. Going to make that a busy household.
Oh yeah,
Well, congratulations, and we hope Stephanie's feeling great. Hope Kyle will sleep through the night as quickly as possible. And now it's a bases loaded situation with Brett Pill.
Here comes the old damage control situation. You get bases loaded, nobody out. You figure you're going to give up something, but try not to have a big inning if you're Kendrick and the Phillies.
Brett Pill with 4 hits so far in this series.
Yeah, he had a big game last night.
He returned to the big leagues yesterday, hitting 148, and his average now is up to 250.
Kendrick really needs something on the ground to get a double play here and give up the 1 run for 2 outs.
I would think he fooled him on that pitch.
That was indecisive.
See if we can fool him again. Sandoval at third. Posey's at second. Red Pence at first.
Red Pill's mind was telling him that pitch is high. Better not swing. It's too late.
Line drive off the glove of Ashe, and it trickles into shallow left field. A run scored. The bases remain loaded. And it's now a 5-1 ball game.
Well, that's not a good 0-2 pitch. He hits it right on the nose. And whether that ball hit the ground or not in front of Ashe, looked like a real quick skid. He thinks he should have caught it. That ball was really hit hard. It's a sinker that didn't sink much. Oh, well.
And they have scored at a base hit.
Just a little short hop, and then off the heel of the glove.
So an RBI for Pill. He has 3 in the game. And Kieschnick takes it side. The Phillies are going to get bullpen action. Raul Valdez is going to start the throw. He last threw on Saturday against the Tigers. That ball is pulled foul.
Yeah, he's not missing a lot of barrels right now. Everything's up in the zone. Granted, the inning started with what should have been the first out. 1 out, nobody on base. But then a hit batter and some balls hit hard. Huntley making the error to start the inning in the wide throw. Fanatic down below is tossing popcorn around. It's a great place for him to do it down there.
Feel bad for the people below the Hall of Fame club.
There he is. I wonder what is coming down here right now.
There's a lady wearing a Tim Lincecum jersey that he's right now sitting on. On the inside corner, 1-2. That pitch hasn't really worked too much.
Nothing's really worked down tonight for him. Poor lady down there.
Serves her right for wearing a Tim Lincecum jersey.
What Tom said, there really is another person there. You can't tell with the Fanatic.
Off the end of the bat, that's going to drop into left field, a base hit. Another run will score, and everybody moves up. It's 6-1 Giants, and that may be it for Kyle. We'll wait and see what Charlie Manuel decides, whether Valdez is ready to go. It looked like Rod Nichols just tipped his cap, which means he's ready. And that will be it for Kyle Kendrick. Kyle does not get it out here in the third. The Giants, who have been struggling to score runs, have scored 6 in their first 3 at bats, and there's still nobody out, and the bases remain loaded. And Roger Kieschnick in his first major league game has 2 hits and 2 RBIs, and he's over at first. That'll be it for Kyle Kendrick. His line is not complete just yet. Charlie will go to the bullpen early. It's an AT&T call to the pen here at Citizens Bank Park as Raul Valdez is coming in. Cooper uses a racial slur and then meets with the media. Our Derek Gunn gets to the bottom of a very ugly incident, and our insider Jeff Mosier has league reaction. Plus, we'll hear from Ruben on the Phillies' quiet trade deadline. Chevy Malibu Sports Night tonight following Phillies coverage. Part of that coverage is Kyle Kendrick going 2+ tonight, allowing 8 hits and so far 6 runs, and still nobody out here in the third.
They hit him hard. They hit him soft. Made some misplays in the field. He hits a batter. Just not a good night.
And Raul Valdez, who last pitched on Saturday when he was roughed up by the Tigers, out of the bullpen to face Brandon Crawford with the bases loaded here in the third. Again, the Phillies will play the infield at double play depth. Outside. Good pitch by Valdez, a breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
A big spot for Valdez in this game because he can get this left-handed hitter out. Then you have the pitcher, who's a very poor hitter, and maybe you can get to bases loaded with 2 outs. First of all, he has to get Crawford out without damage. One guy Valdez made look bad the other night was Fielder. There weren't many guys look bad against him for Detroit, but he made Fielder, he had him lunging for breaking balls. Struck him out a couple times.
Swing and a miss. He got him with that breaking pitch. He kept on going to it. 1 out here in the third.
Well, Crawford was really struggling with it, pulling off, and they just stayed with it. Good job by Carlos Ruiz, too, to make him keep throwing it. And that was a strike for a long time and then disappeared. That's a perfect chase breaking ball with 2 strikes.
Well, now Godin, who grounded out to second his first time up, Phillies will take that right here. And he bunts at it, and Pence off the third base bag gets back. That, I mean, it obviously wasn't a squeeze. It was a safety squeeze. Pence was coming off the bag thinking, all right, if there's contact, I might go.
Yeah,
well, I'm going to go.
He has to, and then it's a force play, and that's why that's never a good play. But when you're 1 for 57 in your lifetime,
you're trying anything.
Anything you can do.
Trying anything, and it may not be the right thing.
Right, and they wanted to just make 1 out here and not 2.
Ground ball toward the hole. How about that? A base hit into left field. 1 run scores. It's only the 2nd career hit for Godin, and it's now 7-1 Giants.
Oh, that's really bad. Then you know you're going to have. Maybe it's not your night. He flips the finger, the thumbs up in the air, like, yeah, I can hit.
I could at least make contact.
There's a changeup, something slow, which, you know, it's always easy when you're up here to see things where you think, why would you throw something slow to a guy with a slow bat like that? Because all you do is speed it up. But he didn't have to get a base hit out of it either.
Well, they may throw that ball out because that's his first major league RBI. Eight teams. And it's taken till the 8th before he picked up his 2nd hit and his first major league RBI. Blanco takes strike 2. It's 0-2.
He dribbled it right in the hole over there because they were playing way up with the third baseman Ashe, and then up the middle with Rollins and Nutley. Giants are scoring a week's worth of runs right now for them. Phillies have been through this too.
And a called strike 3. Good frame job by Ruiz. Nice pitch by Valdez. And they're 2 away here in the 3rd. And Scudero's the 9th man to come up in the inning.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That he get the pitcher out there, and then you're 2 outs with a left situation. You might get out of this. Didn't get the pitcher out. That's pretty impressive. 100 RBIs. Wow.
For a guy that's not an RBI guy.
Really? See numbers like that. He's one of those hitters that thinks the pressure's not on me. It's the guy on the mound. I like this. They're taking fastballs like he's judging velocity right now. Okay, I got it.
Godin was anchored to the bag. Now he takes a 2-step lead. That ball's grounded to the 3rd. Stays down on Ashe. And he'll go to 2nd to retire the side. But 9 men come to the plate in the inning for the Giants. They scored 3 runs, all charged to the line of Kyle Kendrick. Middle of the 3rd. Giants up 7-1. Of your Phillies. By Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Is it a time you experience good banking? Last of the third, Phillies are down 7-1. It'll be Ruiz, the pitcher spot, and then Jimmy Rollins.
And Valdez will hit here, you would think. They need him to stay out there for a few innings. He's not a bad hitter either.
Big weekend coming up here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies will celebrate the anniversary of the 1993 National League champions. Curt Schilling will be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame on Friday night prior to the ball game. Saturday, the alums will be announced before the ball game. Sunday, it's now at 8:05 start. All fans coming to the ballpark will receive the commemorative 1993 pennants. You can purchase tickets at Phillies.com. Full coverage of the pregame ceremony, the Curt Schilling Wall of Fame on Friday night, begins at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Carlos has hit it 4 straight.
Runaway Atlanta Braves will be coming to town. They're playing great right now. They're out 6-0 again tonight. Biggest lead of any division in Major League Baseball. There you go.
Freddie Freeman, couple RBIs.
Hit 2 homers last night. He's their best hitter.
He's their best player.
Yeah. When you factor in how good he is at first.
Mike Minor's on the mound tonight. Phillies right now will see Medlin, Beachy, and Alex Wood this weekend.
And Wood's taking Hudson's spot in their rotation.
Carlos takes high, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's a terrible accident with him the other night in New York, but they haven't skipped a beat since that happened.
Ball got a piece of Ruiz, so he's aboard to start the third.
And the second batter hit by Godin this year. We mentioned he does pitch inside with his fastball, and he nipped him with one.
For years, StubHub has been the place to find great Phillies tickets. And this season, you can get more with your tickets thanks to StubHub Fan Rewards. So get to StubHub and grab your seats today. Valdez will bat. They may try to get Ruiz up to second. He squares, takes high, 1-0.
They may let him swing away too after he got ahead in the count there. This guy, seen him in these roles before, and there he has a 1 for 3 this year. He can hit a little bit.
And he bunts toward third. Sandoval's on it quickly. Thought about going to second, but instead goes to first. Sacrifice is successful. 5-4.
Well, the thinking there is, you see his last sack, thinking there is, well, he can hit a little bit. He may put one in play and have 2 quick outs. So we'll give up an out and put a runner in scoring position and have a chance for maybe a bigger inning.
Rollins singled his first time. Takes a strike, 0-1. Rollins 2 for 6 in the series so far. mention of Godin filling in for Vogelsong. Vogelsong made a minor league rehab last night, went 5 innings for the Richmond Flying Squirrels in the Eastern League. And folks wondered, well, he might replace Barry Zito. But Bruce Bochy said no, not right now. He only threw 50 pitches. They want to get his pitch count up higher before he comes back into the rotation. So that leads you to believe that Godin will stay in the rotation. And he's gone 7 innings in 2 of his last 4 starts. Starts against the Dodgers and against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Doesn't look like a guy that's just in there to fill some time.
No, he's gotten an opportunity to start here, and he's run with it. He's done a good job for them. And he does throw a lot of fastballs, and he does try to pitch inside as advertised.
2-2.
Great pitch for Jimmy Rollins to hit, though, if he doesn't get away. And he loves that low fastball, middle plate in.
Lays off 3 balls, 2 strikes. Michael Young due up next. Out toward left field, and Kieschnick is there. There are 2 outs here in the 3rd. Ruiz back to 2nd. Get Philly Sports when you're on the go, delivered right to your smartphone. Be the first to know the latest on all your Phillies teams. Right now, from the palm of your hand, download the free CSN Philly Sports app today.
Well, he's changed levels.
Seems like he's got a plan tonight.
He's active.
Very active, and folks are getting a lot of pictures of him. He's found a new person to sit on top of him. Michael Young lined out his first time up. That was that double play. He lined to second. Rollins was doubled up first. Doubled up off first. 0-1. Fold him on that slider, and it's 0-2.
Throwing 2 breaking balls. Going up there looking for a fastball from a fastball pitcher, and they're going breaking ball to him.
I have to imagine he's going to go back to the breaking ball.
Yeah, you wouldn't even think he'd waste that fastball in. Michael Young really can turn those fastballs in or fight them off.
Young has good numbers against Godin. He has 15 hits and 34 at bats and 3 homers. Waiting for the 0-2 pitch. Slider swung on and missed, and the side is retired. Second strikeout for Godin. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left in scoring position for the Phillies. 3 in the books here in South Philadelphia, and the Phillies trail it by 6. messes. Ain't that the truth? Even mustard on your best clothes. No need to worry if it's spill or worse. WB Mason has an all-star selection of cleaning products to mop it up. Or if you do get a stain or something on your shirt, you can always call Larry Anderson. He can give you some remedies, home remedies, to get that stain off your shirt.
Oh, he has all different kinds, believe me.
Yeah, he's a big fan of the sweet and low or salts to put on a stain. Pablo Sandoval begins the fourth. Sarge, it's not going particularly well right now for the Phillies. They trail at 7-1 as we go to the fourth inning.
Yeah, well, Kyle not having it today or tonight. Could locate the changeup. Getting the changeup up in the zone. You do that. Doesn't matter whether or not the club is hitting or not. They're going to hit those pitches. Wow.
Ball popped the mask right on off Carlos Ruiz. 2-1 to Sandoval.
Well, the way things are going right now, he probably didn't even feel it as he just sits right there. Oh. Well, catchers take a beating all through the year. Good pitch.
Swing and a miss. 1 out. 3 strikeouts for Valdez. And that brings Posey to the plate. Time now for tonight's Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Buster Posey is one of 3 MLB catchers to win Rookie of the Year, MVP, and a World Series in their careers, joining Johnny Bench and Thurman Munson. Thurman Munson, who passed away in 1979. It would be tomorrow, August 2nd, or excuse me, Friday, August 2nd, is the anniversary of his death as Michael Young makes the catch. Posey's retired. Munson and Bench, for that era, were 2 outstanding catchers with different styles.
I had the opportunity to actually talk to the Yankees and going there to be able to be on that team with Thurman along with Reggie Jackson. They decided to take Mr. Gullett, who was a pitcher with
so they used the
Cincinnati.
money to sign Don Gullett instead of Gary Matthews.
Yes.
Wow. Pence takes outside, 1-1.
Thought it would have been fun to play in that lineup, to say the least.
Yeah, you would have won a championship in 77, 78, and 81.
And 77 was the year that I was talking about actually going there.
Or at least won the American League pennant in 81.
It's always good, so if you're able to go and play with a lot of really good players or great players, good pitch. Makes your job a lot easier.
Well, Raul Valdez has certainly made it look easy. At least here in the fourth, he sets down the Giants in order. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Giants up 7-1. was being thrown out in a very different way. Cheese Chisholm, New Jersey product, and a member of the Harlem Globetrotters. Spun a ball right at the Philly Fanatic.
And once again, the
He's got $1 million smile. That $1 million smile right now is standing next to Greg Murphy. Murph?
Yeah, he certainly is, and a local guy, and we'll get to that in just a couple minutes, Cheese. But first of all, welcome. Welcome to Citizens Bank Park. Threw out the first pitch, but a little bit of a different style. As you've been 3 years with the Globetrotters, that has to be a blast.
Yeah, it's a blessing. I get to travel the world with the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. I've been in over 25 countries. Globetrotters have been in over, let's say, a whole bunch of countries, you know. But the fact that I'm here promoting the Wildwood basketball games, we have August 7th through the 10th. That's next Wednesday to Saturday. It's a very real anniversary type event. We go there. We've been there the last 3 years, and you get to see the Harlem Globetrotters have been around for 87 years with the old-fashioned things such as the water bucket, the high-flying dunks, and the alley-oop passes.
That stuff never gets old. You know, we all remember it as kids. I'm sure folks that are watching at home remember watching the Globetrotters as kids. So now it's their chance to bring their kids out there and see you guys down there in Wildwood. But let me ask you about this, because you're a local guy. You grew up in South Jersey. You went to Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey. So I would imagine, big Phillies fan growing up?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was also raised in New York. You know, I'm a semi-Phillies fan, but I'm a Yankee fan at heart. But I gotta say that quietly. But you know, I love baseball. I love basketball also, and the fact that I get to play with the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters, it's a blessing. And I can't wait to play here in the tri-state area. And
you got a chance to meet Roy Halladay today, because he asked you to, well, you tell the story. What did he want?
Well, one of my teammates, Slick Willie Shaw, he threw a first pitch at the Cincinnati Reds game, and I guess they were playing the Phillies at the time. And Roy Halladay had asked, can he get the basketball? But Slick couldn't give him the ball. So today was the day where Roy could get his basketball. So I presented the basketball to him in honor of Slick and myself. So today was a special day.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Roy, a collector of all kinds of sports memorabilia, so he wanted the Harlem Globetrotter basketball, the famous red, white, and blue. So tell folks again, if they want to come out, you guys are headed to Wildwood next week.
Wildwood, August 7th through the 10th. Games at 7 p.m. And the Harlem Globetrotters, come out, bring your kids. We cater to 8 years old to 80 years old, and we create memories.
You're probably going to win, too.
Oh, yeah, also. And I love cheese. Cheese.
There you go. Cheese for cheese, guys, as we send it back to you.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. I don't know, Sarge, when I was a kid, every year we used to go see the Harlem Globetrotters, Meadowlark Lemon, Geese Osby, Curly Neal, Marcus Hayes. I mean, they were all part of what was a great part of my childhood.
Yeah, well, just about everybody, because, again, they were all over the country.
Well, again, the Globetrotters will be in Wildwood playing the 7th through the 10th of August. As Delman Young loops one out towards second for the second out.
I don't think I've ever seen them lose, to be quite frank.
I think they're hard-pressed to lose. Murph's trying to spin the ball on his finger. I thought Doc was doing it pretty well when he was presented. Murph, come on, let's go. Do it again.
Right, one more time. This is my left hand. I feel like
okay, excuses.
Yeah.
Excuses.
Yeah, I think I got that.
For about a second.
Let me do my right hand.
Yeah, that'll make a difference. Murph, you know what Sarge is saying right now?
Look at that. Yeah.
You know what Sarge is saying right
What's
now?
What's he saying?
I can't do that. I just put cuticle oil on my nails.
Yeah, you're right about that, too.
No balls and one strike to Darren Ruff. Phillies trail at 7-1 here in the bottom of the fourth. And it's 0-2.
Got to make him start that slider up. We're getting a lot of the guys on that pitch. And preferably on the plate, because if it starts outside, it's breaking away, and most of the right-handed batters haven't been able to reach it.
Down the right field line, Pence started in. Now he goes over into foul territory, out of play. Nice job by that gentleman.
Got to have good hands to be able to one-hand that ball, Tom.
To have good hands, you got to have balance too. Because he was leaning a little bit.
Yeah.
balls, 2 strikes. Outside, 1-2.
I like that adjustment there by Ruff, not swinging at that pitch. See whether or not he comes back with that fastball after breaking balls. Usually inside, they'll do just that. And Darren's proved that he can hit fastballs on this level. Just needs to get a little more consistent on the off-speed pitches, meaning that slider in particular, and then working on that changeup. He'll be able to hit that one a lot easier than he would his slider.
Softly hit up the third base line. Sandoval charges on the run. No chance. I don't think he ever had a grip.
Nope.
That'll be a base hit for Darren Ruff. So Ruff now has reached base safely in 28 straight games. 2-out base hit. That brings Ashley to the plate.
Yeah, that's a play you got to come around and almost surround it. He had it in good fashion, but you can see how he loses the handle. I don't think they would have actually had Darren on that play. He had to come a long way in to get that ball.
So now Ashley grounded out in his first at-bat in tonight's game. Popped out in his first at-bat as a major leaguer last night. Takes it side, gets away from Posey, and Ruff goes to second. A wild pitch. Out towards center field, and Gregor Blanco is there to make the catch, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left in scoring position. We've played 4. We've also found out that Greg Murphy, as athletic as he is, a little trouble spinning that Globetrotter basketball on his finger. Left hand, it is. As Raul Valdez, in relief of Kyle Kendrick, delivers a strike to Brett Pill. Phillies haven't been able to solve Pill in these 2 ball games for some reason. He has 2 hits tonight and 3 runs batted in. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Towards second base on 1 hop for Chase Utley. 1 away here in the 5th. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. It was cloudy when the game began, but it was a beautiful day here in Philadelphia. There were a lot of the Phillies Baseball Academy kids who were here today, not only getting a chance to play catch out in the outfield as Kieschnick lost his bat, but also they were able to get their photos taken down the right field line, their team photo and their individual photos. Charlie was out on the infield grass today about 12 o'clock, and all these kids were yelling his name as they were walking along the concourse. Swing and a miss, no balls and 2 strikes. Thought about the fact that all these kids that were out on the field, I mean, there had to be 100 kids just playing catch out in right field and left field. It's been a pretty neat thing.
Well, for any of the kids that would come and able to play catch or have batting practice on the field, start realizing that, hey, maybe I can play here. And it's just the way that you're going to feel. Any Little League kid that will come out will feel that same way.
Well, tonight we have 2 kids, Kieschnick being one, and Cody Ashe being another, who are making their first major league starts. And all both those guys began just like those little kids today. As Kieschnick fouls it down the left field line. For Ashe, it was in Missouri. For Kieschnick, it was in Texas.
Texas is a baseball state. Actually, they'll find you anywhere if you're able to play. Doesn't matter.
In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And the main thing, too, for the younger kids that are out there, you gotta like to play as many positions as you can and have fun. Especially on that level. The main thing is not winning. The main thing is to be able to develop. And then one day, hopefully your dream would be able to come true and play in the major leagues.
Another foul ball. It remains 2-2 to Kieschnick. Was one of the youngsters that may have been at the ballpark, whether it be today or earlier this year. It's very similar to the Philly Baseball Academy jersey that the kids get.
And they all bring their gloves.
And Valdez with another strikeout. Sarge, that's 5 strikeouts for Raul Valdez, and there are 2 outs here in the 5th. And that'll bring Brandon Crawford to the plate. Well, speaking of youngsters, how about yesterday when Roy Halladay was in the bullpen showing a couple youngsters, the proper techniques to pitch. Now, this is all part of Phillies charities and the auction the Phillies had earlier this year. There's certain players gave up their time, and then today Doc was back at it himself, long tossing and then eventually throwing a bullpen. All signs pointing toward, as Charlie Manuel said to everyone today, pointing toward Roy Halladay pitching again here in 2013. The arm is stretching out. He was up on the mound, took a break, went back to the mound again. All work in progress. and the Mets at Citi Field on Wednesday, August 28th. Now, the contest, which is the Fan Cave contest, includes travel, hotel, and game tickets. Submit a photo or video on Instagram showing why you're the ultimate Phillies fan. Follow at Phillies on Instagram with tag your photo with Phillies Fan Cave, hashtag Phillies Fan Cave. Entrance must be at least 21 to apply. For contest rules and information, see phillies.com/fan cave. Entries must be posted by midnight this Friday. Home half of the fifth, Giants lead at 7-1. John Mayberry, Carlos Ruiz, and Kyle Kendrick. The first year the Fan Cave was implemented, we went up and we watched a Phillies Mets game.
Yeah, I've actually been there a couple of times, to be quite frank, and I got to tell you, it was not bad.
Now they've changed it over the years. There were two fellas that were part of the contest that MLB ran the first year. Now there are a number of folks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we got a chance to visit that and to go all over. I thought it was really pretty nice, and I couldn't imagine staying there all that time just looking at baseball games, but it does happen.
John Mayberry leads it off. And it's 0-2 to Mayberry as we begin the fifth.
Well, he stays on his heels, and it tells me that he's not comfortable when that slider is actually coming. That's why a lot of times, if he hits it on the good part of the bat, if you don't have really good balance, difficult to generate a lot of backspeed. And there's the balance that I'm talking about. He should just be really gliding into it. He's more so jumping a little bit, but again, when you're on your heels, you're not going to be able to hit the ball with a lot of authority. And obviously, because he is a major leaguer, he will come up with hits from time to time. But if you want to be consistent, you're going to have to learn how to at least foul that particular pitch off, and more importantly, you better stay off his heels. Take a look at it. See, there's the heels that I'm actually talking about, and it's easy to talk about it because I swung at so many of them and missed them until the point where it was the easiest pitch to actually hit. So that's something that you can correct if you're willing to really work on it, and it's daily that you have to do it.
Carlos Ruiz hit by a pitch his first time up, hits one on the ground to second, and Scudero to his right, 2 outs. And Lance Nix will pinch hit for Raul Valdez. Good job by Valdez tonight, off the heels of his last game against the Tigers, which was not the greatest of outings.
Yeah, that was a difficult club for him to pitch against. The American League, those guys are really off-speed hitters, and he was getting the ball up in the zone some. You're doing that against guys that can hit. You're not going to be able to last a long time unless that ball is hit right at the fielders.
How about what the Tigers did today to the Washington Nationals?
Saw they beat up the Nationals today.
Gio Gonzalez allowed 10 runs.
All right. They've had their problems.
Nix takes inside and low, 1-0. Ground ball to second. Well, Godin is having his way with the Phillies since that home run by Chase Utley in the first. He sets them down in order here in the fifth. We've completed our first 5 innings here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies with their backs against the wall. arms and gloves. Despite struggles at the plate, the Phillies have kept their focus while in the field. Patrolling the outfield and infield, they've been providing solid defensive plays behind their pitchers and picking off base runners trying to take that extra base. As usual, Chase is ready to make a play whenever needed, and Kyle's reactions were ready as well. The leather is ready even if you have to make your way through the crowd for a play. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Top of the sixth, 7-1. Giants on top. Phillies defense hasn't been stellar tonight. Chase Utley has an error. John Mayberry, although it's not an error in the book, sailed a throw earlier in the ball game that extended the life of an inning for the Giants. Kyle Kendrick went to the showers after 2+. And J.C. Ramirez is next up for the Phillies after Raul Valdez, 3 innings, 3 scoreless innings, Sarge. He allowed 1 hit, had 5 strikeouts.
Yeah. Tell you, a lot of times too, though, and let's face it, too, the ground ball pitcher, you're not going to be able to get your ground ball. It's going to be difficult for you, without a doubt.
One of the base hits that the Phillies allowed in the third was the base hit by Godin against Raul Valdez that drove in a run, his first major league RBI.
Yeah, I thought that hurt. He hadn't had a hit in, I don't know what, about 40 at bats or so. And then to come up, not only a hit, but to drive in a run. It's almost like salt in the wounds there. And you could tell then that Kyle really just didn't have his really sharp kind of control the way that we've normally seen him throw. Well, you can almost tell instantly when pitchers go out on the mound whether or not they're going to have their good stuff just by movement on the ball, whether or not hitters are making solid contact. They didn't hit a lot of balls hard off of Kyle, but they did find their way in for base hits.
He just walked Godin, who has 2 hits in his major league career, to begin the 6th.
At least be able to get that a little bit closer to the plate. Looked to me like he just really held on to it way too long.
Here's Gregor Blanco. Ground ball to first. Nice play by Young. There's 1 and there's 2. Godin, although he's been on the base paths tonight, which is refreshing for him, running the bases, is still somewhat of a chore. At least sliding. He's got a 7-1 lead, though. And that double play puts 2 outs on the board.
Yeah, that's a good play there. Definitely. Michael Young making it look easy. Once he tags the base, everybody knows you got to go in and tag the runner. Take a look at it again. The momentum takes him toward that bag. He makes a good throw there to J-Ro, and J-Ro puts the tag on.
There's Marco Scutaro. 0-1.
I think even if he was going to slide, he would have been out. Pitchers don't practice that a whole lot in sliding, although everybody should know how to slide. That's what he has to do more often. He's got to get ahead of those hitters. Again, this is one of the pitchers in the bullpen that has good stuff, has good arm. A lot of times not knowing where the pitch is going to go. Charlie are looking at these young guys, looking to see exactly what type of situations he can bring them in at. The more you throw strikes, the more he can trust you.
That ball's back toward the middle. It'll sneak into center, a base hit. Real short swing from Scutaro.
Yeah. Scutaro doesn't really overswing. That's a time, again, don't have to throw a strike. Get that ball there in the dirt. More fastballs in just to set him up for that slider. Have a hard break on it.
Sandoval down the right field line. That'll hook foul. Sarge, you always like a good hat.
Oh boy.
It's always good to have a good hat that can do a lot of good things.
Well, I guess you're right about that as he takes it off. Did he even know it was in the account?
Look at
you know what? I don't know if we're going to count that one there. I know we have to.
But I mean, you have to count that one.
Well, I mean, at least you got to look it in the glove. You can't just kind of put it up. Here, let's see here.
It's a good catch. Hat or no hat?
Take it back. I take it back. It's a good catch.
Look, he juggled it.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Look at the reaction of everybody around.
I'll give it to him. It was, and it should be.
You're a tough scorer. Must be the hat.
Yeah, I thought he kind of just, threw it up and actually ended up catching it. But he actually looked it kind of in the hat. And he's explaining it to him.
Well, the lady's putting lipstick on.
She had other things she wanted to do. I mean, it's all right. It's not a baseball game. Okay? Somebody called and said, hey, guess what? You're on television, and there it goes. Oh, boy.
Yeah, maybe she thought they put him on kiss cam after he made a catch like that.
Oh, boy.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Sandoval. Sandoval scored a couple runs earlier in the game. Shatters his bat. Look out. Wow, that bat went a long ways. Throw goes right past Michael Young. Scutaro's going to go to third. Now the Giants will have first and third with 2 outs. And that'll be the second error of the night for the Phillies. Sandoval's limping as he goes back to the first base bag.
Yeah, they're going to pinch run for him, too. That bat goes flying into the stands.
Boy, that was dangerous. I mean, that bat went farther than I don't think I've ever seen a bat go that far.
Well, let's say that, but see that's that sharp end going into the stands. Take a look there, and that's just threw the ball away, and that ball there just snaps it out. See whether or not he hurt himself going to the bag. You couldn't really tell. Now there's that bat flying. That's why you have to be extra careful. You can see that point in as it's coming down. Well, they're using everything to catch flying objects there, Tom.
Well, fortunately, everybody's okay. There was a little kid that was kind of ducking out of the way, and it was a good thing. Yep. Here's Buster Posey, and first pitch misses inside. It's 1-0.
Boy, that's what you call getting sawed off. Fastball inside, and he just jammed him.
Well, it'll be an infield single and an E5 on Ashe to allow the runner to go to third. Fly ball right field. Well, no damage done. Just a few extra pitches for J.C. Ramirez. Side is retired here in the top of the 6th. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Things are flying all over the place here at Citizens Bank Park. That's the top half of Pablo Sandoval's bat. And earlier, the gentleman used a little initiative. Didn't bring a glove, but he brought a comfortable hat. Ford stores. Go further. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Giants up 7-1. Well, the Giants certainly did their due diligence when it came to Chad Godin. They knew that they had a pitcher that they could use in the bullpen and possibly as a starter. And the starting thing has worked out. He's working into the 6th. Gets the top of the order.
Yep, so far, just two pitches. Fastball, slider.
Arias stays in to play third in place of Pablo Sandoval. Inside 1-0.
Fighting Phils need base runners. I'd have to almost just take a strike just to see where he is, whether or not he can throw a strike.
Rollins out front. That'll stay in the yard. 1 out. That'll bring Michael Young to the plate. Let's check in with Murph with an injury update. Murph?
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Yes, an injury update on Dominic Brown. And, we've all been waiting to see just when Dom is going to be able to get back out on the field because of that concussion. Well, we're being told today by Charlie Manuel and by Ruben Amaro it's probably going to be about another week before Dom Brown is able to play. Certainly not good news for this Phillies offense. They'd love to have him out there right now, but obviously concussions are not anything you want to mess around with. So they're taking it very slow with Dom Brown. He's going to have a couple more tests tomorrow, and they'll see where he is with the concussion. But at this point, about 7 more days before Dom Brown can be out on the field, guys.
Yeah, Ruben said that the tests today were all good. That they're hoping that they'll be equally as good tomorrow. They do think that he needs a couple rehab games just to get his swing back. Michael Young has the count, 1 ball and no strikes. And he lines one to right center field. That'll be in for a base hit. 3rd hit of the series for Michael Young.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long it takes him to get back in the groove and being able to hit balls. And talking with him too, he actually talked about diving for those balls. Obviously that's how that actually happened. But when you say, hey, are you going to dive again, he'll say yes, because it's more instinct. So you're not thinking, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. You're going and just trying to catch the ball. But maybe on some of them he might think twice about them, and especially if he's not right there in the vicinity to be able to catch the ball.
Utley homered his first time up, flied out his last time, 1 for 2. Chase taking a look at that cupped bat. See if there was a chip out of it. A lot of players, some players use that cupped bat. Other players use the bat that's rounded off at the top.
Yeah, and usually when you're using that cup bat there, that means that it won't be as heavy on that the end of the bat.
And Utley is struck out. And they're 2 away.
Most of the bats that they use these days are so light anyway. 32 ounces, 31 ounces.
Next Tuesday, the Chicago Cubs will be here for a 3-game series, 2 night games and a day game. After the 3rd game, Modell Sporting Goods Kids Run the Bases, all for fans 14 and under. When you come to the ball game, all fans, thanks to Citizens Bank, receive the Chase Utley Pride of the Phillies print. Phillies and the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs just swept the Giants in San Francisco, and they lead the Brewers tonight in the 3rd. A lot of folks thought they would make a few more trades today. Nate Schierholtz, the former Philly, is having a decent year. Remains with the Cubs. They dealt Soriano and Garza and Feldman before.
Yeah, after the date comes and goes, most players are able to relax a little, even though they're able to still make some deals for certain guys. But usually that's always the case, however, when teams aren't playing well, when individuals come over or traded over or however they get them, if things don't go right. In most cases, they don't want to be here. Sometimes, too, hard for them to kind of look themselves there in the mirror and realize maybe if they were doing a little better, the team might be doing a little bit better in terms of where they are in the standings.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins lead the Mets 3-1. That game's in the bottom of the 6th. The rookie Yelich, who was just called up about a week or so ago, has a couple hits for the Marlins. A run scored. Two and two to Delman Young. Swing and a miss, tied him up, and Godin has struck out the last 2 hitters. Well, this just hasn't been the Phillies' night on so many fronts. Give credit to Godin. He has scattered just 4 hits over 6. We go to the 7th. Hunter Pence will lead it off when we get back.
What a play that was. That was one of the great catches. Huh?
Sarge didn't think so. He had to be convinced that it was a great catch.
Well, he tried to catch him with his hat sometimes when he didn't mean to do it. Here's your local Honda dealer's game summary. Brett Pill, he's been really good in this series. Knocked in 3 tonight. Roger Keishner, major league debut. And a good play in the outfield. Chase Utley with a home run for the Phillies. And Hunter Pence tomahawks that high pitch into center field and run down there by John Mayberry for the first out. So this one kind of got away a little bit early in the game time with a 4 and a 3 spot.
Absolutely. And the Phillies offense has only managed 4 hits. And that'll bring Brett Pill, the aforementioned Pill, who was 2 for 3 tonight and 5 for 7 in the series. He's raised his average from 148 to 265. Very limited at bats, of course. But still.
Yeah, you can go up quick when you get a few hits, when you don't have a whole lot of at bats.
It's Jake Diekman in the pen. Well, the hits just keep on coming for Brett Pill. He's having himself a series. That one's out of the yard. And he has his second home run of the year, and he has his 4th RBI of the game, and it's an 8-1 Giants lead. Things did not go particularly well for Pill in limited time, his last time in the big leagues.
Well, they sure are going well in this ballpark. That ball was just spinning out over the plate a little bit. I don't know whether he tried to throw a slider there, but it took a long ride and it was out in a hurry.
Second home run of the year. He came in with 3 RBIs. He has 4 in tonight's game. Kieschnick 2 for 3. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
As good as a guy with a hat, but I still have one too.
That one's out towards shortstop, and they're 2 away. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with those 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. She got a baseball too. Here's Brandon Crawford. Crawford, who grew up a Giants fan, went to UCLA and was the team MVP for UCLA in 06 and 07. Part of last year's World Championship back in 2010 when the Giants won the World Championship. Crawford was not part of the postseason roster. He went to 1 game. In fact, he went to game 1 as a fan. That one's hit well deep to right field, and it is gone. Second solo home run of the inning for the Giants. 6th home run for Crawford. Giants had not homered in 9 games, and they have 2 in the same inning here tonight.
That just looked like a fastball right down the middle. And that took a longer ride. I think you watch Ramirez, his fastball is pretty straight. And when he gets it in the middle of the plate like that, oh, that didn't do anything except go way out of the ballpark. There wasn't much movement on it.
Now Godin, who's 1 for 2 with a walk. He walked him his last time. The 2 guys with the brightest smiles are the guys that have homered in this inning. Pill to your right and Crawford to your left.
Yeah, they haven't had a whole lot of smiles lately, have the Giants, the way they've been playing. They've really been struggling, coming off a World Championship. But they're having a lot of fun here tonight, just running around the bases like a bunch of kids.
Yeah, 13 hits.
They make Bruce Bochy kind of smile. They're one of the good guys in the game. Steady influence in their organization for a long time, he and Brian Saban.
Back to the mound. Side is retired. 1-3 on the putout. 2 innings for J.C. Ramirez. The first okay. The second one, well, not so grand. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia with the Giants on top 9-1. Here you go. Who are the 2 Phillies pitchers that have pitched no-hitters against the Giants?
Lucky enough to see both of them. First one, Gary Carter made the last out on a line drive to Charlie Hayes, and that was Terry Mulholland's.
That is correct, in 1990.
And Ricky Leday made that great catch to preserve Kevin Millwood's no-hitter.
Kevin Millwood that day just threw high fastballs.
Oh, he did. Ricky Leday made some play out there in center field, too.
Kevin Millwood's no-hitter occurred on the Fanatics' last birthday at the vet.
Right.
You're on a little bit of a streak here.
No, you gave me a hint last night.
But
That
still.
didn't count. Hey, you see a no-hitter, you better remember them. Don't see that many of those.
Well, Brett Pill hopefully will take tomorrow off. I doubt he will.
Especially with a left-hander going.
Crawford homered, Pill homered in the top of the 7th inning. Now we go to the bottom of the 7th to Darren Ruff, who reached on an infield single his last time to the plate. 1 for 2. Will lead things off for the Phillies. Ruff has reached base safely in 28 straight games dating back to last year. Ruff just missed that pitch out front, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Right heel bruise for Sandoval. Did he jump at the bag?
You know, it didn't look like he jumped, but it did look like that's where it started to bother.
Yeah. A lot of times guys will get a heel problem when they jump at the bag on a play at first base.
2-1.
Yep. He jumped at it. They take that long stride a lot of times. And it's amazing how many times you can hurt yourself doing that. But you get that feeling, I want to get there. I want to get there and get that hit.
2 balls and 2 strikes. But you could see it almost immediately once he went back past the bag.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was the right one. Maybe it wasn't on the bag. But so many guys hurt their heel on the bag. And they do it normally, taking that long stride right at the end, which is one of those things where they want to beat it out for a hit. Understandable.
Well, it beats sliding.
Oh, that's the worst.
Ruff checks. No swing.
And head first slide into first base. Dangerous.
That one is a bullet down the left field line. Foul. Well, he's had a couple of those tonight. He's gotten a little out front. His first at bat when he lined out to the track and left. Just missed one. That one right there.
Those are the one you mentioned, that early one, and that one are really good swings.
Cody Ashe on deck. And ball 4. So Rupp draws a walk to start the 7th. And Ashe steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Let's check in with Murph with the Major League Notebook.
All right, time brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy College, of course. And despite being considered out of the race, the San Diego Padres made a deadline deal today to help their rotation. They got right-hander Ian Kennedy from the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks sent Joe Thatcher back, a minor leaguer, and a pick as well. And Kennedy will make his Padre debut this Sunday for them. And how about the last deal of the day? That belonged to the Baltimore Orioles, who got Bud Norris from the Houston Astros. And the good thing for Norris is he didn't have to go anywhere because the Astros are playing in Baltimore right now. And for the Baltimore Orioles, it's a move for this year, guys. But also, Norris is under control till 2015, so they're very proud about getting him at the deadline.
Ashe with a fly ball to center. Blanco's under it, makes the catch. There's one out. Back to first goes Ruff. I think everybody was surprised with the Kennedy deal.
Yeah.
But I think it's the same thought, Murph, for the Padres. They're looking beyond 2013. That's a great ballpark for a guy with Kennedy's stuff.
Yeah, it's a great point because, we look at the trade deadline as a way to improve your team for, a final run at the pennant. But, hey, why not use the trade deadline to improve your team, even if you're not in it this year going forward? And that's what the Padres were looking at. And I think many people believe that that's exactly what they did because they got themselves a pretty good starter. And I should mention, guys, Bud Norris is going to pitch against the Astros tomorrow night down in Baltimore. So he'll get a chance to go right back at his old team that just traded him away.
All right. Appreciate that, Murph. Oh, and Kennedy, too. The Diamondbacks feel he'll become arbitration eligible at the end of this year. He's going to get a big raise.
Right.
And their thought is, well, we don't want that burden against the cap. Or at least we would prefer not to have that burden against our salary.
Yeah.
Because in their mind, they're still kind of a small market team. 0-1 to Mayberry. Outside 1-1.
Well, and he's a fly ball pitcher, too. So your point well taken about him in San Diego, that he could be much more effective there than in Arizona, where it just flies out of that place.
Well, in Arizona they must have wanted to get rid of him to not maybe get another pitcher or two from a contending team.
Yeah, they're not. It's not like the Diamondbacks are out of the race either. Although the Dodgers are just acting like they're going to take charge and keep running away.
Yeah, they lead the Diamondbacks by 3.5 in the division.
Dodgers have just been remarkably hot. We saw it. They had started a little bit before we saw them, and then they really picked up against the Phillies, and they just kept it going.
Two and 2 to Mayberry.
He's got really a lot of problems with his breaking ball tonight.
Out towards center, playable for Blanco. Ruff goes halfway. 2 outs. MLB.TV celebrates 11 years. Catch all of the second half action in HD quality. Watch every out-of-market game live on more than 350 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Wheels mentioned the Dodgers lead the West. They lead it by 3.5. The Pirates up a 1.5 games over the Cardinals in the Central. This is the latest. I could be wrong about this, but what I read today, latest the Pirates are in first place since, is it 92? Does that make sense?
92, because 93
92.
93 is when their spiral started at under 500. 92 was the year of the Sid Bream play, right? At home plate.
think that was the year. It might have been 91. I think it was 92.
Yeah. And after that, they went into this 20-year under 500 drought or whatever it is they're in. And they will finish over 500 this year. And they have a heck of a chance to keep on playing for the first time in a long time.
Wheels, they still have to win 18 games.
They'll be all right.
Okay, you sure?
Well, you can't be sure of anything, can you?
No.
Death and taxes, they say. But they're going to finish over 500. And they're really putting a little exclamation point on it right now, the way they're getting after the Cardinals.
2-0 pitch to Ruiz. Cardinals have put Yadier Molina on the disabled list as Ruiz pulls one foul.
And Molina finally had to give in to that knee. He's been hobbling around, hobbling in an all-star game before that. There it is. Starting in 93.
What are we going to do with that graphic? We'd have to shrink the font if they had another year.
That'll be something they will be more than happy to retire. Get that out of here. Take a ride on this playoff team that we're trying to put together. Be nice. You know, we all have a lot of really good friends with the Pirates over the years, the front office people, and of course Clint Hurdle, guys like that, Nick Leyva, and they're having a good year. And they play the game well, and they don't have a whole lot of offense.
Another one to center field. That one's pretty well hit. Blanco going back. He has room at the track. 3 straight fly balls to center. Wrap up the bottom of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits. 1 man left for the Phillies. We've completed 7. On to the 8th inning. It looks like Jake Diekman's coming on. By the Pennsylvania Lottery benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And by Nissan, and Nissan's bottom line sales event. Save on popular models now with bonus cash. Shop ChooseNissan.com today. Well, if Murph could do it, then that youngster whose finger's a little crooked, bent the wrong way. All right, now Cheese is going to help him out with it. I don't know, Murph. I think he may have been able to keep it on his finger a little longer than you.
Oh, here we go. You know, it's a little bit more difficult than it looks when he's putting it on your finger.
So if you didn't have him doing it, you would have been able to do it fine by yourself.
I'd have been, well, if I say that, and it's going to be on tape. Let's just say I just felt like the ball was slowing down by the time I got it on my finger.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
It's all on the technique. We'll bring a basketball in tomorrow. We'll see if we can all do it in the office.
Terrific.
Wheels, you in on that?
I'll be happy to watch you guys.
Look, there's Doc doing it. Ready?
Look at those long fingers. Roy Halladay's big hands.
Doc almost kept it spinning as long as Cheese did.
Well, look at the hands on him.
Well, maybe not that time. And now Murph. All right, 1, 2, 3. We'll give you 4 seconds. It wasn't that bad.
Under pressure, he's on camera.
That's right.
I mean, we'll be doing it in the office, and everybody will be a hero back there by the time we get on the air, right, Murph?
Thank you, Wills.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did it for about a minute.
Well, we'll put a videotape going.
Sure you did.
Get a camera going.
It'll be glory days all over out here tomorrow night.
No doubt about it.
Isn't it anyway?
A lot of nights, yeah. There's a lot of embellishment goes on out here.
Jay Diekman into the ball game. The count is no balls and 2 strikes. Diekman takes over for J.C. Ramirez, who went 2, allowed 4 hits and 2 runs. Diekman's ERA at 4.11 in 21 games. And Blanco fouls it off to the left. Top half of the 8th inning, it's 9-1 in favor of the Giants. They scored 4 in the first, 3 in the third. And they really haven't looked back. Diekman off the mound quickly, gloves it, throws low. Michael Young, nice job.
Oh boy, that's a play you really can. Diekman had a little bit of trouble sometimes fielding his position, and that's the kind of play you hold your breath. First baseman puts their hand in there like that. So vulnerable to all kinds of injuries. Here it is, and you see Diekman right here, picks it up, takes his time, winds up, and then throws a slider down and in. And look at Michael Young, just get his hand out of there in time. Such a defenseless play for a first baseman.
Well, a nice play for the first out. Here's Marco Scutaro, who's hit in 6 straight, has 2 hits tonight, and he takes high. It's 1-0. Scutaro looked like he was taking it all the way on the count with the count 3-1. Now it's full 3-2.
He should have an idea of the velocity and movement of the fastball because he's seen 5 of them.
We may see number 6 right here. He fights it off, and Utley's there. 2 outs.
He didn't really get the velocity down.
No. Time now, Wheels, for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. A lot of objects going around in the air tonight, including Cheese Chisholm with that basketball. Murph looks like a little kid. There's that bat flying into the crowd. Fortunately, everybody was okay. And the ball into the gentleman's hat. Bounced around a couple times before it landed. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frostproof Coors Light.
Terrific catch.
How about that bat? Have you ever seen a bat go that far? That far?
Yeah, and that's one of those spears going in there too when it's broken in half like that. That was a scary one. She said, thank goodness everybody was okay.
Arias takes 2 strikes, 0-2. .98 on that fastball right there from deep.
A 9-1 game. Carlo just has him throwing fastballs to these right-handed hitters.
Little dribbler. Diekman again gets another chance. It just takes too long to get rid of the ball.
Just not a real good fielding pitcher.
Yep.
It's a matter of confidence, I think, more than anything. To whether you pick it out, you're dealing with a guy that can throw a baseball 100 mile an hour almost, and then when the ball gets hit back to him, he's tentative, and he doesn't let it go right away. Watch how he kind of aims it. This is an easy play for him too. He's on it plenty of time, takes his time, kind of aims it, gooses it over there, throws it about 60 mile an hour. Right there, very tentative when he throws it. And as I said, that anybody that's ever played baseball knows you may go through it yourself, or you've been around people that have trouble throwing a ball once in a while, and it can be, it's between your ears more than anything. It's not like you can't do it. A lot of times you will see pitchers have the problem throwing the ball to first base for some reason, that they cannot throw it hard to first. And we see it more than you think.
And it's odd.
Very odd, because as I said, they'll throw it 100 mile an hour from the mound, and then they have a throw to first base, and they just kind of, whatever they do to it, over to first. They just take a lot off it.
That's 3 throws now in the last 2 games for Diekman, where he's had trouble with it.
Yeah, and the more times that happens to you, the worse you're going to get at it, because you're going to be thinking about it more. He just kind of aims it when he throws it, instead of just the natural thing of pick it up, throw it.
Sandy Rosario in the bullpen for the Giants. They got 7 from Godin. Out toward right, Delman Young hustling in, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left for Diekman. Pretty comfortable 8th inning. On to the bottom of the 8th. Pitcher spot due up.
Struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball. Brad Lynch does it again and stays perfect for the 2008 season.
Well, tomorrow Brad Lidge will officially retire as a member of the Philadelphia Phillies. Ceremony prior to the game against the San Francisco Giants. All fans coming to the game tomorrow night receive the photo print, compliments of Toyota. Get your tickets now or stop by the box office tomorrow. Get your tickets at Phillies.com. There's Rich Doobie talking to Jake Diekman, not about his pitching, but about his throwing when he gets a ground ball. Bending down, and it looks like he tells him, you know, throw it like you're throwing for the mound, sort of 3/4. Don't go up top. Just get rid of it quickly.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the kid has something between his ears right now that he just can't figure out when he throws the ball to first base. Takes a long time, winds up, certainly can get over it.
Sandy Rosario facing Kevin Franzen, and Franzen is a pinch hitter, fouls out. Heroes comes on to catch for Buster Posey. One away here in the bottom of the 8th. It's been one of those nights for the Phillies. They haven't been able to get a whole lot going. Rosario in his 25th game. He's allowed some base runners.
Well, this is a great game for Bruce Bochy to get a guy like this in and maybe struggling a little bit, get him a little work, no pressure.
Rollins 1 for 3. 1 ball and 1 strike. A lot of folks thought that the Giants may deal some pieces from their bullpen as we got to the trade deadline and beyond. Ruben, talking to Murph earlier, did say that there may be some moves made in the future, but players will have to go through waivers in order to be traded.
Right, that's the difference in what happened today at 4 o'clock as opposed to where it is now, that waivers are involved.
Rollins takes inside 3-1.
Rosario is a 90 to 93 fastball, slider, changeup.
Ball 4. Rollins is aboard. 1 out walk here in the 8th. Tomorrow at 5, Ruben, Frank, Jeff Mosier, and John Gonzalez will join Danny Pamels to discuss team reactions to Riley Cooper's comments. All that and more on the next Philly Sports Talk, presented by Classic Nissan, tomorrow at 5, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Michael Young is 1 for 3 in the game. They do not hold Rollins on at first. Outside, and now 2-1. Young just a little late on that 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Right field, that's a base hit. Rollins on his way to third. Hunter Pence's throw goes towards second. A single for Young. It makes it first and third with 1 out. Second hit of the night for Michael Young. And that'll bring Utley to the plate.
Here's the only the only run for the Phillies tonight was a solo home run by Chase Utley, and that's a home run for trees. You have the graphic. I thought we were going to go to a. Never mind. Read it.
Well, 1 tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees, a partnership between the Phillies, PHS, and Aramark. Home Runs for Trees is part of Plant 1 Million, a project to restore the region's tree coverage.
I couldn't have ad-libbed that.
The whole graphic?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole drop in?
I just got what was on the screen there.
Wheels, just remember Phillies.com/red goes green.
Got it. Well, he homered to right center. Looked like a high breaking ball.
You want us to run it just to see if it was a high breaking ball?
No.
Little dribbler. Rosario flips underhand, runs, scores. It's a 9-2 ball game. Second RBI of the night for Utley. On the putout.
It's a long time ago. No, it was a fastball. That's right. It was a long time ago. I forgot about it. And he hits it out of the ballpark. And hey, at that point, the Phillies got back to 4-1. But the Giants kept batting on tonight.
So they lead it 9-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. With Delman Young 0 for 3. Up and in, 1-0.
Godin did a really good job for them tonight. Front running with that lead they gave him.
Over to the left side. Crawford has time. Phillies get a run here in the 8th inning. On a ground out. They leave one in scoring position. And will lead for the top of the 9th inning. Hunter Pence will lead it off for the Giants.
First inning, what a play by Cody Ashew. This ball hit down the line by Hunter Pence, jumped up, threw him out at first base. Here's another look at it. Great reflexes here. Dives, ball goes into the glove. It actually scored it out a little bit. Right there at his throwing hand, picked it up, fired it to first, and got him. And that is our Hyundai defensive player of the game.
Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Then Franklin Bridge, all lit up in all its glory. It's a nice night here tonight. Let's get some rain at some point tomorrow. Hope that forecast changes. Luis Garcia will take over here in the top of the 9th. Garcia, no wins, no losses, an earned run average of 3.52.
Well, June and July have been pretty wet around here, so we'll see what happens in August.
Flip the calendar. This was during the outset. This was a good month for the Phillies. They had jumped out to a 10-4 start in the month of July, but then lost 8 straight. A win tonight, they finish at 12-12, but they trail at 9-2 here in the top of the 9th. What a note to Hunter Pence. Hit by a pitch earlier. He's 0 for 3 with a run scored. And 1-1. You wonder what the Giants are going to do with Hunter Pence. You know, he is a free agent at the end of this year. He was arbitration eligible for a final time at the end of last season. Signed a contract for a little less than $14 million at the end of last season. He has made it known through his meetings with Brian Sabean that before the trade deadline that he would go, but that he would like to re-sign with San Francisco in one way, shape, or form. Cody Ashley down the third base line, and that's the first out.
Time now for WB Mason deliveries of the game. Brett Pill has had some series here, capped off by a big night tonight. There's a base hit up the middle. That was right after the great play by Cody Ashley, and it knocked in a couple of runs. And then here's another hard hit ball, goes off his glove. This one trickles into the outfield, and Sandoval scores. And then just for good measure, off J.C. Ramirez, he goes deep to left field, hits himself a home run. Big night for him.
Well, they start him off with a breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
WB Mason deliveries of the game.
Big night for him tonight. He has 6 hits in the series. He's 6 for 8. He went on that, and it's 1-2. Garcia is the 5th pitcher used by the Phillies tonight. Kyle started Kendrick, went 2+, allowed 8 hits and 7 runs. J.C. Ramirez allowed 2 home runs. Valdez scoreless for 3. Diekman 1 scoreless. That one is out towards second base, caught by Utley. And 2 outs. Every time the Phillies retire the opposition 1-2-3, which they did do twice tonight. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. Slider misses inside, 1-0. The other trade which went under the radar, not that it's going to mean much for this year, out in Kansas City, the Royals 7 games out in the American League Central, acquired Justin Maxwell from the Houston Astros.
Yeah,
Maxwell had a good year last year. It's been an okay year this season.
Former Washington National. Real athletic looking guy.
You know, and last night the Red Sox acquired Jake Peavy in a 3-way deal or 3-team deal.
Right. Well, they were looking for a starting pitcher. Some thought that maybe they were interested in Cliff Lee, but that didn't happen.
2-2.
If he stays healthy, he'll help them.
He's had a pretty good year.
Yeah. The thing is, and there's Lee. The thing about Peavy is he's been off injured the last few years. That's the thing that has set him back. But when he's healthy, he's really good.
And plus, if it means a whole lot, he is excellent in the clubhouse, which the Red Sox certainly need, because their clubhouse was not excellent the last couple of years. Garcia works a 1-2-3, top of the 9th inning. It's all that we have is the bottom of the 9th, where Darren Ruff will lead it off for the Phillies. Shane Martin for Williamsport. Couple of games. Shane, 11 innings, 1 win, 10 strikeouts in those 11 innings. And how about that? Cody Ashley will get a chance to bat one more time here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in. The week leading up to his promotion to the majors. Charlie said he will play, be out there playing third base, but he even said that they may toss him an outfielder's glove and see what he could do in the outfield. Ruben Amaro said today that with Michael Franco down in Double-A, Franco may come to spring training next year. He may win the job as the third baseman, and Cody can move to another position. He's more athletic from that standpoint.
Right. Michael Franco, for anything you hear about him, is kind of slow-footed, so he's going to be a third baseman. He evidently was a catcher at one time, and even he admits he doesn't run very well.
And there's not an opening at first base, so
No.
he couldn't move there.
No.
Darren Ruff leads it off. Ruff takes inside, 1-0. Franco is having an outstanding year.
He's kind of come out of nowhere.
At 20 years old. Santiago Casilla behind 1-0 to Ruff. Ruff has a hit tonight and a walk. Up high, 2-0.
Heard you guys talking about Dominic Brown, and hopefully he's going to be able to go do that rehab and get back soon. So just got that shot of him. There he is.
Ruff fouls it off the third base bag.
I can't believe he didn't break that bat.
Ooh. I think that got him in the hand.
Sure did.
Hit by a pitch last night in the shoulder, got hit in the hand there.
Hopefully it was a glancing blow, because this guy throws pretty hard. What was the elbow?
Forearm or elbow, yeah.
Forearm elbow. Well, it's never good getting hit in those areas, but it's better than getting hit in the hand.
Hit that arm.
And it smoked either the catcher or the umpire. They can get really hurt on those plays, on those deflections.
Cody Ashley, a foul tip. It's 0-1. Ashley's 0 for 3. He's grounded out. He's flied out twice. 0 for 3, 0 for 4 so far.
Making contact. It's going to get a hit. They're waiting.
Ball off the end of the bat. Scudero to second for 1. And that's all they'll get. 4-6 on the putout. And a fielder's choice.
Well, he had a lot of fastballs in that at bat. Then a curveball there. And he, as you said, just hit it off the end of the bat and put it into play.
They'll bring Mayberry to the plate. Hamels against Kane tomorrow. Last time they faced off in this ballpark, both homered. 7:05 was the first pitch. The Brad Lidge ceremony to take place before the ball game.
Kane's had a tough year. Really a quality pitcher. He's gotten hit around a little bit. Cole Hamels has had the toughest year.
Breaking ball, and it's 0-2 to Mayberry. Mayberry's down on strikes. Mayberry struck out twice tonight. 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth. And Carlos Ruiz is coming up. Reminder coming up right after the ball game. It's Phillies post-game show. Post-game live. Brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Metallico will break down the outing by Kyle Kendrick this evening. Kyle went 2+ innings and was charged with 7 runs. After Ruiz, Eric Kratz is out on deck. Carlos behind 0-1. Goes, pitches the strike, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Carlos checks, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kiro started last night's game, came on as a replacement for Buster Posey in tonight's game. And a liner to left field. Kieschnick is there, and the ball game is over. This is the Giants game from the start until the finish. They win it 9-2 as they bang out 14 hits this evening against the Phillies pitchers. Home runs by Brandon Crawford and also Brett Pill will finish with 3 hits. Has 6 hits in this series now for the Giants. And this 3-game series is even at 1 win apiece. 9-2 the final score. Our Chevrolet player of the game is guy that started the ball game, Chad Godin, who was outstanding for San Francisco.
Yeah, they plugged him into the rotation a little while ago, and he has done a very good job for them. Had very few poor outings. Had a real good fastball tonight. Used his breaking ball effectively. More than anything, though, he did a terrific job front running with that lead they got. They got him 4 in the first, 3 in the third, and he was able to just get out after out and give them a very solid 7 innings, only 1 run, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. So he is our Chevrolet player of the game.
He allowed just the 1 extra base hit, the home run by Chase Utley. So the Giants take game 2 by a final of 9-2. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this.